Hi everybody, this is Kyle Tomson with Tomson Burnham Real Estate. I am a real estate agent in Salem, Oregon, and this is my Living in Salem YouTube channel. I've lived in Salem for 25 years now, and this channel is about sharing what I know about Salem and the surrounding area with everybody watching. And as you're watching today's video, if you like what you see and find it helpful, click on the thumbs up icon, write a comment, or share it. YouTube uses these metrics to decide which videos to promote, so it helps others find us. Over the last week, we have had 3 separate clients ask us, so I heard that it's illegal for sellers to pay buyer agent commissions now. That's true, right? Well, folks, it is definitely not true. Clearly, there is a lot of confusion around all of the class action lawsuits swirling around the industry and the nature of the settlements that have been negotiated. So in today's video, we're going to set the record straight about buyer agent fees and who's paying them. So stay tuned. I've done a few videos explaining the details about the class action real estate lawsuits that have been launched all over the country. If you'd like more information about those lawsuits, I have some links of my other videos at the top of the page that go into some detail. The NAR, the National Association of Realtors, settled a series of these lawsuits for $455 million earlier this year, and as a part of that settlement, agreed to a series of rule changes that went into effect on August 17th of this year. The first thing to understand is the difference between real estate agents and realtors. A realtor is licensed by the state and is by default a member of the NAR. A real estate agent, on the other hand, is also licensed by the state but is not a member of the NAR. And that's an important distinction to remember. The second thing to understand is that the NAR settlement includes changes to rules that members of the NAR, realtors, agree to follow. This isn't a law change, it's a rules change. And on top of that, the rule changes only affect the 1.5 million realtors across the country. That leaves about 1 million real estate agents across the country that are not bound by any of these rule changes. Now, a lot of MLS systems around the US are realtor run and thus require NAR memberships, but not all MLSs. The MLS I belong to, the Willamette Valley MLS, does not require NAR membership and is what is called an independent MLS. Both realtors and real estate agents belong to our MLS. The Northwest MLS, which covers Washington State, is also independent, while the RMLS, which covers the Portland metro area, does require membership as it is run by a realtor board. For independent MLSs, it's up to them to decide which, if any, of the rule changes that realtors are bound to are integrated into their MLS rules. So, on to the rule changes. The first rule change is that realtors must have a signed buyer agency agreement in place before they view a single home with a client. This, of course, means that buyers, once they sign an agreement, are on the hook to pay the buyer agent if the seller won't. Many states have already made this law. Oregon followed suit just this year. On January 1st, 2025, all buyers must have an executed buyer agency agreement with a buyer, and I quote, before the licensee has commenced efforts to assist the buyer in purchasing real property or in identifying real property for purchase. That's making the choice of which buyer agent you sign on with even more critical. More on that in the video link at the top of your screen. The second rule change was that realtors cannot advertise buyer agent commission offerings on any MLS. In the past, when we would look up the details of a house, we could see the buyer agent commission. Even realtors who belong to independent MLSs cannot advertise buyer agent commission rates. Again, independent run MLSs don't have to follow this rule. Our MLS decided to go ahead and follow the new NAR rules because they thought it would be odd to have some listings with agent commissions while others not. The Northwest MLS decided not to follow this rule. They felt it went too far and took away sellers' rights to offer commission on the MLS if they chose to. But regardless of whether the MLS allows buyer agent commissions to be displayed or not, Sellers are perfectly free to offer buyer agent commissions if they choose to. I say that again. Sellers get to make the choice if they want to offer a buyer agent commission. All the NA rule change did was require the buyer agent commission to become part of the home sale negotiation rather than having set in stone before a single offer came in. And so, what are buyer agents doing? Well, they're including a new form with all offers asking the seller to pay their fee. And the seller has a choice to pay it, not pay it, or pay a part of it. But if the seller chooses to pay some or none of the buyer commission, it is up to the buyer to pay the fee that they negotiated as part of the buyer agency agreement. So to summarize, it is not illegal for sellers to pay buyer agent fees, nor offered to pay buyer agent fees. Just like sellers can pay closing costs for buyers, include a refrigerator or a washer or dryer as part of a transaction. This is a rule change by a trade group. The choice to pay any buyer agent fees is now up to the seller rather than the selling agent. And so I hope that clears things up about buyer agent fees and who has to pay them. If you liked what you saw today, give me a thumbs up, write a comment, or share this video. I'll see you next time.